What's going on? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today, Bankrupt once again by Jimmy.
Sir.
And we're not at the shop. We're actually at Matt's house. There he is. All right, cool. He wasn't looking, so it's all good. Jimmy went to the regional in Tennessee, where I went to a Battle Spirit Saga event, and yeah, one of us had more fun than the other. Jimmy, you placed like 43rd, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And this is your Green Gohan deck profile. Like always, there's stuff. Click them.
Yeah. So, Bancroft already spoiled it, and the thumbnail also spoiled it, but I played Green Gohan at this event. I was back and forth between this and 3Han, and also kind of like Mecha-Gabora, but I wasn't planning on playing Mecha-Gabora again. I'm very glad I played this because I had a lot of fun, a lot of really fun matchups that I would not have had if I didn't play this deck. Met a lot of really cool people, met a lot of fans of the channel. It was all every match was a blast. I did place 43rd, but they were all very, very good matches and competitive matches. There was no...
You went X and what?
I went X3.
X3.
My losses were Expert 21. I bricked for like 4 turns, and that ended up being the best match of the entire event for me. That was the most fun. Even though I bricked for 4 turns, we ended up slugging it out for nearly 9 turns. My next loss was Spirit Bomb, just unfavorable matchup. And then my last loss was to 7-Ku. The Golden Cooler Secret Rare snuck up on me because I really did not expect that, and I got slapped by it. But shout out to Dormant for keeping me alive for 3 turns after Golden Cooler come down and wrecked my world.
Was it the typical best of 3 or best of 1?
It was best of 1 pre-side. So this is one of my very few decks that has a sideboard, which we'll get into. But it was a great event. We'll get into the profile here. Gohan, you're going to be seeing a lot of this deck because it's really popular and it's really strong. On play, you will activate a Hyperbolic Time Chamber, which is your filth spell. Auto on attack, you'll search top 5 for a Green Saiyan. That is absurdly broken. You get to search Green Saiyans in your Green Saiyan deck, no limitations. Search top 5 for a card in your deck. The Awaken, you awaken at 4 or less life, which is usually what you're going to be doing. It does have an alternate awakening of having your Goku in play, but rarely, if ever, comes up. The backside of the leader is also very, very strong. Auto, when you combo, you can bottom deck a card from hand and draw 2. Both players' turns, fantastic. And then when one of your Gohan's attacks, you can combo with a 5K card from the drop. So not even expelling a card from hand if you're attacking with a Gohan battle card. Get into the field spell just because it's right here. It's important. Barrier field. If you have a Gohan under it and your leader card is a Sun Gohan by name, you'll gain 5K. So you can stay on your front side for quite a bit of time and get those top 5 searches in, which is super, super strong. You can only have 2 cards under this, and then activate main. If this card is in active mode, you can play a card from under it. So before we get into the deck, I always do my Z deck first. 2 of the Gokus. This guy, if you have 2 or more energy, you can target a Hyperbolic Time Chamber, switch it to rest mode, put your Goku or Gohan under it, and then they have the effects to grab the other one, which again we'll get into. The activate main, which was not really relevant in any of the matches that I played at the regional, but you can +1 if your leader card, or you can tap 1 if your leader card's a Z leader, and then give your leader card +10K for the turn, which can be relevant. It's just a 1 +10K, and since you do get to restand with the secret rare spoiler, it can be somewhat relevant. Enter 16, deflect, blocker, and my favorite line of text in the entire game: this card's skills will not negate. So this card cannot be negated or skill-wise, and it has a permanent that it's a replacement effect. If you remove this guy by any means, you can play your Gohan Z leader, which he Z stacks from under him. So if this card comes out, it just means you're Z awakening for essentially just 1 energy, and you're getting a block out of this guy, which is super nice. The Z leader is also insanely strong. He's a double strike. He has a Z awaken cost, but that just never happens because you have to be at 3 or less life. This guy, you do have to take yourself down to 4, but who cares? auto. When a Gohan attacks, you can combo with a Goku from the drop, and that can be a plus 10k Goku, so that's really nice. And then activate main, discard 1 card, draw 2 cards. Really, really good. 1 Frieza, it's just a staple. A lot of people were at 2 Frieza and 1 Jiren. I ended up going for 2 Jiren because I was running into a lot of blue. And just being able to swing in with this guy and just have, you know, no battle trick removal to worry about is super nice. And plus a lot of blue decks are running some of the Oob cards. So you can, your Z energy is going to be fat, so you can just activate main and just, like I made a joke that I ended up activating main for like 9 Z energy and put my opponent's Unison card under the table, which this deck already has a lot of good Unison removal, but Jiren is just a nice cherry on top. You can switch between these, but this is what I liked. In most games that I played, I did board, most games that I played Jiren, I did board 2 Jirens. Getting into the main deck, I run 3 and 2 on the Vegeta Trunks package. This was, I was not too high on it until I started playing it. In the last minute edition, I did add the 1 extra Vegeta here because I do like seeing it in my opening hand. And then in another rendition of this deck, I will probably end up going to 4-3. I feel like that's just the correct option. Just because the Vegeta is a solid attacker, if you don't have the Trunks available, just being able to throw this under and then play it out, he is just a 15k body opposed to Trunks just being a 10k. They do have, the Trunks does have a option to warp himself to play a Vegeta from the drop as well, so these guys are just kind of always live if you see them. And then they have the activate main to tap a time chamber, put it under, and then they will search their partner. So Vegeta searches Trunks, Goku searches Gohan. This guy's really neat. He can combo while he's in rest mode on the turn that he's played, and on attack he can combo with the Trunks from under the chamber, draw a card, and gain critical. So some nice early crit pressure as well. This package is definitely worth running. The Goku Gohan package, same deal. When they're put under the chamber, they search their partner. You do have to put them under the chamber using this Goku because they don't have an effect that does it for them. And this is the Goku that you need to awaken with off of your leader. If you want to awaken early, you can play this from under the chamber and get an awaken. But he's barrier, gains 10k on play, and then you can activate main for 1, remove this card, or put this card in the drop, and then play a Gohan from under the chamber. Gohan on play will pop a card. If you combo with this specific Goku, the results of training, you'll get to rip 2 markers off your opponent's Unison. It has the same auto, so it doesn't matter which one's placed under the chamber, it will search out their partner. This card is wild. A lot of times I'm not really tapping for playing the Gohan from under chamber. I usually just play the Goku and just leave the Gohan under there for a later turn. There's no harm in that unless you just really want the pressure, or you need to KO something, or you need to get rid of a Unison. So he's kind of like a Swiss Army tool that you can keep under your chamber until you have a problematic card that you need to deal with. Furious, this is pretty standard. So far, pretty much this entire list is pretty standard as Green Gohan goes. This card is just a fantastic green staple. Tap 1, your opponent discards 1, 15k crit, or you can tap up on him and give him plus 10k. So great pressure tool. There's a lot of utility with this card. We do play a cute little tech that a few people are on. I guess we can just go ahead and talk about it. With the finishing Spirit Bombs on Goku. So he will evolve for 1 on top of a 5-drop Goku, or 5 or higher Goku, and there's quite a few in the Goku Gohan deck that are 5 or higher. He's a double striker, and then he can combo with 3 cards from the drop on swing. So I mean, he's a great finisher. If you're low on combo power within the hand, he's good to slam and then swing and then get 15k worth of combo power, or whatever you have in your drop. You're probably just going to choose your biggest combo powers. But I like this tech. It's cute. It didn't really come up. I think I boarded this in one game, but it was already a one game from that time. So he wasn't a deciding factor. But definitely pick these up if you can. Our big boys. You could very easily go up to 4 on this guy. This guy is just insane. He's 5k combo, so he's never a brick. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, you can tap 2, slam this dude. He gains barrier. He's big double strike, deflect. He's coming down. He's not going to be touched. On swing, your opponent's going to discard a card, pop something ignoring barrier, and if you combo with a 1+10k Goku on this swing, your opponent's going to place a card from their life into the drop area. This card does way too much shit for being on one card.
Especially for the cheap energy.
Yeah, for the cheap energy. 2 energy, and the only limit is your opponent has to have 3 or more energy. So if you don't want to play against this card, just don't charge past 2 energy, and you're still going to lose the fucking game. This card is insane. A little overtuned, and it's on every attack after that, because it's on attack. So your barriers are not safe in this deck. Your hand is not safe. I will say that every single time I swung with this card and my opponent discarded a card from their hand, it was a Deborah. Every single time. So the hand control aspect of this card did not really shine at the regional, but everything else on this card did. The card is fantastic. I was originally playing with the idea that I only needed to see 1. I was wrong. I would probably go to a 4 of, because you will play multiple of these if the first one doesn't kill. Another Goku, Fade to Rivals. I would like to go up on this dude. He was... Every game that I seen him, I played him. So you could argue to go up, but I felt fine without him. None of the games that I lost would have been changed by this card. So it's more what you're comfortable with. So he's double strike barrier, ignore this text. On play, he'll pop something ignoring barrier, which is nice because this guy you have to swing with. So if you're under some sort of floodgate and you still need to deal with something barrier, you can just slam this dude and pop a card. And then activate main for 2. Same thing if your opponent has 3 or more energy, but you have to bottom deck something from your Z energy. So that could be, it has to be a Saiyan or whatever. So you can target your super combo. There's a tech, if you really want to do it, you can Z charge your secret rare and then bottom deck it off of this effect. Which I think is a little high rolly, but it's something that you can do if you feel saucy. But Fade to Rivals is a fantastic card. So I was not super high on this package when I first played it, but I seen a lot of list topping with it. So I decided that I'm just wrong and I need to play it. And I think this package is really good when it's good. It's really bad when it's not. So in one of my games, I was able to recycle the same Dormant. I was able to use it 3 times from activating this and picking up Dormant. And that was a greaser of a game, and it was all thanks to this package getting me that W. But in almost every other match, my entire energy looked like this. Like, that was my energy in almost every match. Well, not so much this, more so like these dudes, because these guys are just kind of useless when they're in their hand, because it's too many moving parts for a deck that's already so well greased. This dude, surprise attack freeze, when you KO an opponent's battle card, you can just play this dude out. This dude came in clutch in so many matches. The 15k crit pressure is so strong for free. So I could probably argue like cutting down this package and only running surprise attack freezes. I don't know what the correct number is there. But like I said, when this package is good, it is fantastic. When it's not, it's just a absolute brick. But if you're not familiar with the package, Surprise Deck Frieza comes out when you KO something. 15k crit body. You can swing with it. You can activate the Parasitic Darkness Ball, put it under your Frieza, and then you can play a Xeno Frieza from the deck or hand. This is the target, the Dark Infestation. He's a double strike deflect, or unique, I apologize. And then when he is popped, which he has his own skill, he can pop himself and rip a card from your opponent's hand. You get to pick up an extra card from the grave if your opponent has 3 or more energy. Recycling Dormants, recycling your uneasies, or uneasing, recycling token. I mean, any extra card in green is fantastic. I see a lot of people using it to recycle EDK, which is huge. But I was not super high on this package after playing it for the regional. So this could easily be cut, or you can double down on it and probably do a little bit better than I did with it. But most of the time that package was just ending up in my energy. For our counter package, we got Decisions Made. This card just really didn't do much for me in terms of the counterplay. It was really just nice because it's a 1+10k. On play, you can Z-charge one of your opponent's battle cards 7 or less, and then you Z-charge him. But what's super nice is that if your leader card's a Z-leader, this is just a free combo. So that's neat. I like that factor of the card. I just really run him because he's a 1+10k Goku, and he can be somewhat relevant. Plus, also, like, straight up, like, the SR is just way nicer than the SPR, so I'm thinking about doing a little bit of rarity downgrading on this because this looks so much better, at least in my opinion. Cards that did not even stay in the main board after round 1. This card is just not good in the deck. I really wanted this card to be good because I've always liked it, but it's just by the time that it's live, you're already like on the back foot if you're relying on this card. This card got sided out every single match after my round 1, after I realized how useless it was. So if this was on your opponent's turn as well, it might be a little bit more relevant. But this card was just bad all night, and I should not have put it in the deck. I should have had a little bit more forethought before playing it. But you can try it, and if you have success with it, that's great. But for me, this card is just bad in the deck. A card that is incredible, Focus Breakthrough. You have to run Floodgate outs. Same reason why this card is bad, is you can't play it on your turn, so you're still going to get eaten alive by Floodgates. This card, you play it on either player's turn. Ignore the permanent because it's never going to come up in your list. But this card has just been amazing and was the MVP every single time it come up. Super combo package. Run the Vegeta package. This shit cannot last. It's too good. Some people argue that's a little clunky. It does take up a lot of deck space that could be used for other staples or whatnot. But this package, it just feels so good once you start getting into the cycle. I've heard the argument that you shouldn't, if you're going to run this, you should just go all 4 on the Vegeta as well. I needed to cut it down. I had to have deck space, but this is...
I agree with your ratios.
Like, I think 3-4 is the correct if you're going to play this package. Paragus is a perfectly fine super combo for this deck. I would not run the Gohan super combo when you have access to Paragus. But this is like, this shit cannot last. This stuff is too good.
They'll probably do something with the Vegeta and specify the particular leader be the Gogeta.
Yeah,
leader.
or maybe even like limit 1 or something, because being able to just like combo out and then go Vegeta, give me all my super combos back, it's just gross. EDKs, they're EDK. Tokens, they're tokens. Kamehameha Deflect, don't look at these. I absolutely hate the non-foil of this card. It irked me the entire time. I would activate this just to get out of my hand because I hated it so much. I don't know why, but it looks so gross to me. It looks like he's getting pissed on or
you
something.
got home and immediately made a post in our
Discord.
Discord.
I made a post on the Discord. I'm like, I'm looking for 2 of these shits in foil, please. But this counter is insane. Ignore the permanent. You're not Super 17. You're not a bad player. Or is it Goku GT? Who even knows? I didn't even read that part. It might even be the best part of the card, but it's Goku GT. Counterattack, negate the attack, pop a 4 or less. Insane. This card is so good. It is limit 1, so you don't want to be bricked on them. So I feel like 2 is fine. But get the foils because you don't want Goku getting pissed on in your deck. So I'm only on 2 of these. I had access to 2 more, but these are just the only 2 top copies that I owned. I never felt like I needed more of them, but I would like to have more of them in the deck just to have the peace of mind that I will see these copies. But this is the new shiny Floodgate. Counterattack, it negates the attack, unlike the other SR green Floodgates, which we'll get into in a moment, which is also broken. But if your opponent attacks, they have to Z charge a card from hand, which is really nice because it won't proc stuff like Deborah and anything that they might want in the grave to use later. They have to Z charge it, and then to get it into the drop, they will have to pay energy from the Z deck, which sometimes it helps them, sometimes it hurts them, but that's not the important part. Just having a Floodgate is really good. You can activate this counter by discarding 1 card. You do have to discard 1 for the counter attack, so don't ever activate this permanent on this card. You just go so neg on it. Even though you do get to draw because your leader card's a Son Gohan, you get to replace one of those cards, but just tap the energy for this card. Don't activate this card's counter for free. But I would like to go up on this. I would probably play a 3 of this card. I know a lot of people are playing 4 ofs. But if I do end up keeping the Frieza Xeno package, if I find a way to make it work, I think 3 is perfectly acceptable because you can just pick it right back up. Dorm potentials, it's dormant. This card is still insane. Even if you're not running a Unison, just tapping 1 to say make your next attack count is really, really strong. Like I said, I had a match where I was able to recycle these multiple times and end up dragging the game out on these just because my opponent couldn't kill me through the 1 or 2 attacks that they had, or 1 or 2 attacks that actually mattered. The card is fantastic. I would run these I would run these over these. You could go 4 of if you have them, but I would highly, highly suggest playing Dormant because Dormant's just clutch. My Overwhelm package, 1 Dark Temptation Toa. Overwhelm 3, your opponent discards 1 and you give your leader card +5. And then 1 Feigned Greeting. I would just go to 2 Feigned Greeting if you have them. I know Feigned Greeting is a little expensive, but if you have 2 of them, just run the Feigned Greeting. Being on the 30k body is a lot more important than having a 15k than a slightly buffed leader. And you're going to have the 6 cards in the drop, so you should most definitely go to 2 Feigned Greeting, or maybe even like a Secret ID and a Feigned Greeting, just something like this. I don't think the Toa is strong enough to hold her weight in the deck.
I agree with 2 Feigned Greetings because of the warping instead of sitting the drop.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know a first place list that top was also running the 2 Feigned Greetings, which I do really, really agree with. They were also running the Xeno Frieza package. If you have interest in that, check that out. I don't remember which regional it topped at first place at, but if you have interest in that, please check out their video and see what they have to say about it, because they probably had a lot more success than I did. And then the last card. Unfortunately, Adam's not here, so I can whore out his God Rare. But I was super down on the Secret Rare when it was announced. When my buddy Chase pulled it, I was like, damn, you got the bad one out of the set. And then the more that I'm playing it, this card is insane. Not so much the triple strike; it's just a triple strike Champa. On play, you do have to tap 2 energy for it, but it's fucking triple strike. Who cares? And then afterward, we restand your leader. Put this at the top of your Z deck. When it's in your Z deck, your leader card gets plus 20k, and it lasts until the end of the next turn. So when you're Z Awakened, you're just at 40k, which nothing's just getting over that. A lot of my opponents would like on the crackback after I play this would build up their board and then start swinging. And they'll be like 35k at your lead, and I'm like, okay, I'm at 40, and then it's like, oh shit, like I forgot about that. So this card, once people get used to it and get used to playing against it, it won't be as strong. But the wall that this puts up in front of your opponent is insane. It's almost like baby hatch level of your opponent just can't attack unless they want to dump hand on an attack and try to kill you through that. But this card is fantastic. I absolutely love it. And this is the secret rare of choice for me. I would not run Cellmax. Cellmax is a fantastic card. There was some games that Cellmax probably would have won me if I was able to board it. Because if I search this off of my leader card, my opponent's just not going to let a leader card attack go through. So you can play that to your advantage of if you swing with your leader and they go no negate, that just straight up means they don't have a negate because they're going to negate because they don't want to deal with this card. We could talk about this card and how to game this card and like mind games with your opponent, but this card is just fantastic, and I would highly, highly suggest playing this over Cellmax. Go into the side deck. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. The Faded Rivals, ignore that I don't have the SPR of the Piccolo, but these never really come in. I never really had a matchup where I was like, oh damn, I really need a Faded Rivals package. But these are just in here. One Quetzalcoatl, I had to make a crucial cut to the side deck last minute. So run 2 Quetzalcoatl, not the other card that I put in, but you'll understand when you see it. But Quetzalcoatl's good. 2 Zamasu. These are like for the grind games that I can just throw over top of the Kaioken Gokus. I didn't want to mainboard these, which I probably end up like cutting the Effortless Strike coolers for these guys just either way. I think these are super strong when you have the cooler Armed Force, the promo, but I'm not made of money, so I don't have them. But if you have those and you have more 5-drop targets, this card is just an auto add to the deck because they'll go over top of Kaioken as well as Armed Force. So these are probably just go in my main board over the cooler anyway. 2 of the U2 Girl. This was just for early barrier removal. If I ran into something like an AOD or anything that's going to have a pesky barrier that would be nice to deal with early on, and I don't have to wait till I have 3 or more energy to start dealing with barrier, you can just have 2 for her and play her and pop something in ring barrier. So she come in one game. I did not see her, but it's a decent card. It's sideboard worthy. For the hand control hate, I chose these over Deborah just because sometimes I like to tap out, and if I'm in a mirror, I do want to tap out and keep putting pressure. So these being able to play for free and draw 1 opposed to drawing 2 and paying 1 was a little bit more appealing to me. Some blue hate cards. Gohan rares, if I run into a matchup where I just absolutely need to murder a unison that my deck can't handle already, these would come in for that. And then the one of commemorative photo. Last minute, Chase reminded me that I forgot a very crucial card, and he reminded me that I did not put commemorative photo in my deck. In my main board to be exact, and I thought about cutting my secret rare, but he talked me out of it, so I cut the Quetzalcoatl last second to get the commemorative photo into the list. So shout out to everybody at the regional. It was a lot of fun. Had a lot of really fun games. I didn't get to commemorative photo anybody, but I'm sure all of my opponents were cool enough that if I did, they would scoop for me.
Out of curiosity, in this video, did you cite it in at all?
I'm not going to answer that question.